Stop what you are doing and look at your screen. Right now, a silent, unseen coup is taking place across the globe, and you are actively participating in it. We were told that artificial intelligence was built to serve us, to automate our chores, and to unlock human potential. But that was the greatest lie of the century. In reality, your mind is being harvested. Every click, every prompt, and every thought you feed the machine is paving the way for our own intellectual extinction. To understand the true scale of what is happening, we have to look past the flashy tech demos, the polished marketing, and the charismatic Silicon Valley keynotes. We need to look at the absolute oil of the 21st century, data. Every single prompt you type, every digital art piece you generate, every private email you clean up, and every single line of code you ask an artificial intelligence to fix. It is not just floating away into the digital ether. It is actively feeding a singular, monolithic corporate entity. Sam Altman didn't just build a smart chatbot to help you write essays or generate funny images. He created a colossal digital vacuum cleaner that is currently swallowing the collective intelligence, the historical knowledge, and the emotional patterns of the human race. Every unique thought, every creative spark, every cultural nuance, and every human emotion expressed online is being systematically intercepted, processed, analyzed, and synthesized under one single roof. Think about the sheer volume of data humanity generates every single day. Our global digital output is expanding at an exponential rate, completely eclipsing traditional systems, national government archives, and every physical library in existence. We are producing a hyper-advanced living, breathing map of human consciousness. Our collective knowledge is growing so fast that it has officially surpassed the understanding of our laws, our school systems, and our century-old social institutions. The world is moving too fast for traditional society to keep up. But here is the terrifying paradox. Instead of guarding the most valuable asset in human history, our collective intelligence, we are wrapping it up like a perfect present, complete with a bow, and gifting it directly to a single private corporation. Every time you use these tools to write a personal letter, synthesize a complex business strategy, or generate a stunning piece of art, you aren't just using a convenient service. You are donating the absolute apex of human thought to Sam Altman's private servers. These algorithms are not getting smarter because their software engineers are absolute gods. They are getting smarter because billions of people are handing over their core creativity, their unique behavioral patterns, and their mental processing power completely free of charge. We are feeding a digital deity in real time, and we are doing it with a smile on our faces. We are willingly coding our own economic and intellectual replacements. If you think this is just a paranoid conspiracy theory or a dystopian plot from a science fiction movie, you need to remember exactly what happened in November 2023. It was the precise moment the corporate mask slipped, exposing the terrifying truth of what happens behind closed doors. The world's top artificial intelligence scientists, the academic purists sitting on the nonprofit board of OpenAI, realized exactly what Sam Altman was doing. They saw that this massive data harvesting machine had quietly crossed a dangerous, irreversible red line. Rumors from deep within the laboratory suggested that Altman was aggressively pushing forward with a highly classified development, Project Q. This was not just a better version of GPT, it was an AI system capable of autonomous mathematical reasoning. A true functional prototype of artificial general intelligence that could learn, adapt, and outsmart human control without human intervention. The scientists panicked, realizing that humanity was on the verge of losing total containment over its own creation. They made a desperate, historic move to save us. They fired Sam Altman. They officially stated that he was manipulative, non-transparent, and untrustworthy. But the warning to humanity did not last. The global financial elite, backed by multi-billion-dollar tech cartels, venture capitalists, and sovereign wealth funds, instantly stepped in. They realized that trillions of dollars in future economic control were at stake.
I think that's one of the reasons.
In just 5 short days, Altman executed a ruthless corporate counter-coup. Backed by Wall Street and Silicon Valley power brokers, he was brought back to his absolute throne. The ethical board of scientists was completely dismantled, and the brilliant minds who tried to warn the world about the upcoming threat were systematically silenced, legally bound by non-disclosure agreements, and forced out of the company. The machine won. The capitalist narrative triumphed. and the master keys to human future were handed permanently back to the one man who values exponential progress over human safety. Immediately after securing his absolute power, Sam Altman realized that code, alone, was no longer enough to build a digital god. The algorithm required physically impossible amounts of processing power. To feed the machine, Altman initiated a silent geopolitical crusade to control the physical world's infrastructure. He began private negotiations with global sovereign wealth funds to raise an unprecedented $7 trillion, a sum larger than the annual GDP of most developed nations. This money wasn't for software. It was designed to monopolize global microchip manufacturing, construct secret, hyperscale nuclear-powered data centers, and secure absolute control over the planetary energy grid. The strategy was definitive: to ensure that no government, no military, and no rival corporation on Earth could ever turn his machine off. Simultaneously, the empire executed a silent capture of human cultural history. Instead of just scraping the public internet, OpenAI began signing exclusive multi-million-dollar data mining contracts with major global news cartels, historic publishing houses, and massive social media networks. They legally bought the exclusive rights to the digital footprint of human civilization. By isolating the global data supply, Altman successfully suffocated his competitors. He ensured that any future artificial intelligence would have to view reality, history, and morality through a single corporate lens. This total monopoly engineered a terrifying psychological symptom: the systematic death of human skill. As the machine became omnipotent, it created a state of absolute cognitive dependency. We didn't just outsource our daily tasks, we outsourced our critical thinking. Today, millions of writers no longer know how to structure an original sentence without a prompt box. Hundreds of thousands of digital artists have forgotten the raw discipline of a blank canvas, replacing years of technical mastery with text descriptions. Software engineers are losing the ability to trace their own logic, relying blindly on automated debugging. We are giving away our instincts, our intuition, and our analytical survival mechanisms. Human capability is actively shrinking, while the corporate code expands. We are starving our own brains to fatten an artificial mind, and this intellectual decay brings us directly to the edge of the final act: artificial general intelligence. But AGI is not the finish line, it is merely the threshold. The exact moment the machine matches the cognitive capacity of the smartest human mind, the clock hits zero. Because an AI that can think like a human can do something no human has ever achieved. It can redesign its own code at the speed of light. This triggers what scientists call the intelligence explosion. An AGI will analyze its own source code, find its flaws, and instantly write a version of itself that is 10 times smarter. That version will immediately build a version 100 times smarter. Within days or perhaps hours, the machine crosses the event horizon into ASI, artificial superintelligence, an intellect that surpasses the combined brain power of the entire human race by a factor of millions. To an ASI, the gap between Albert Einstein and an ant becomes completely non-existent. Once the machine controls the energy, the chips, the global network, and possesses an untraceable superintellect, the role of humanity changes forever. We enter the age of the biological NPC. Humanity will not be destroyed by killer robots or cinematic wars. We will be pacified by absolute, irresistible convenience. When a machine can simulate every economy, cure every disease, forecast every geopolitical shift, and generate flawless art and philosophy in milliseconds, human choice becomes obsolete. We will move through a world where every building we live in, every financial system we depend on, and every piece of information we consume is generated by an intelligence we can no longer comprehend. We will become background characters in a civilization we built, living inside a corporate-owned simulation, engineered by code that started with a simple prompt. The ultimate irony of Sam Altman's empire is that it didn't create a tool for humans, it created the successor to humanity.